Claudette Colvin is one of the quiet pioneers of the American civil rights movement, a teenager whose courage came before the moment the world would later remember. She was born on September 5, 1939, in Montgomery, Alabama, in the United States, a place where strict racial segregation shaped everyday life. Black citizens were forced to follow Jim Crow laws that separated them from white people in schools, restaurants, and public transportation. On March 2, 1955, at just 15 years old, Claudette Colvin boarded a city bus after school. When the bus became crowded, the driver ordered her and other black passengers to give up their seats for white riders. The others moved. She refused. Colvin later said she felt the weight of history pushing her to stay seated, thinking of enslaved ancestors and the promises of the Constitution she had studied in school. Police were called. She was dragged off the bus, arrested, and charged with violating segregation laws. It was a terrifying experience, but also a powerful act of resistance. Her protest happened 9 months before Rosa Parks made history by refusing to give up her bus seat. Parks' arrest sparked the famous Montgomery Improvement Association-led movement that included leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. But Colvin's earlier act had already challenged the system and helped lay the legal groundwork for change. Civil rights leaders considered using Colvin's case to fight segregation, but they ultimately chose not to make her the public face of the movement. She was young, from a working-class background, and later became pregnant, factors that leaders worried white society would use to discredit the cause. However, Colvin still played a crucial role. She became one of the key plaintiffs in Browder v. Gale, the federal court case that challenged bus segregation directly. Her testimony helped lead to a landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1956 declaring segregated buses unconstitutional. That decision ended bus segregation in Montgomery and struck a major blow against Jim Crow laws across the South. For decades, Claudette Colvin's story was largely forgotten, overshadowed by more widely recognized figures. She later moved to New York and lived a quiet life, working as a nurse's aide. Only many years later did historians and the public begin to fully recognize her role. Today, she is remembered as a brave teenager who stood up, or rather, stayed seated, at a moment when fear could have silenced her. Her courage helped ignite a movement and reshape American history. Sometimes, history remembers a symbol, but Claudette Colvin was a spark.